Hello folks, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing a quick unboxing and review of the latest Baofeng radio, as it just arrived in the post this morning. So I haven't looked at it at all, it's just arrived, and we're going to have a look at my latest Baofeng in my collection. Yet another one. The roof is in danger of collapsing from the weight of all the Baofengs that I've collected, but as I'm sure you'll want to see another review of a Baofeng if you're interested in that type of radio. So the actual radio that I bought this time is called a Baofeng T20, and it is listed as being a walkie-talkie. It certainly comes with a fixed antenna. I know that much about it. As for the rest of the specs, well, we'll have to delve into that a bit closer and see what's what when we open the box, etc. But looking at the box on the front, quite clearly it says there, professional walkie-talkie. That's how this radio is described. I live in the UK. And when we talk about walkie-talkies in the UK, generally speaking, what we're talking about is this type of radio here, like the little Baofeng BF T20. Now, I have spoken at length in one of my previous videos about the difference between a ham radio and walkie-talkie, so I'm not going to go into that in great detail again. The only reason I mention it is because if you live in the UK and you buy a walkie-talkie, generally what you expect to get is a radio that has no more than half a watt output power, has 16 channels, capable of storing the PMR 446 frequencies, which is what we use on the license-free walkie-talkie network in the UK. And the radio will also have a fixed and non-removable antenna. So that's what we regard as a walkie-talkie in the UK. Fixed antenna, 16 channels, no more than half a watt output power. So just thought I'd mention that. I'll put that out of the way now, and we'll get back to the T20. And don't forget, this radio is described as a professional walkie-talkie. So let's have a look on the box on the outside. What does it say here about this little radio? Chinese English language, okay, fair enough. Timeout timer, okay. Wide, narrow band, not quite sure why you'd need that on a walkie-talkie. Generally speaking, they're narrow band in the UK, but anyway, we have the choice of wide or narrow band. Battery saving function, fair enough. Busy channel lockout. Low battery voltage warning. Programmable by PC. Now there's a bit of a strange one there. Why would you need to program a walkie-talkie? Because generally speaking, they come with the 16 PMR 446 channels already programmed into them. But this one says it's programmable via PC. So that's interesting. What else does it say? Fashion and mini, okay. Long standby time, yeah. Long distance, oh, long distance from a walkie-talkie, okay. Sound quality is clear, well, that's all good. The rest of the box, I don't think there's anything of much interest there. Basically the same as what's already been said. Interesting though, on the end of the box, it's got GB/T and a system of numbers after it, 2016, and GBT, a load of numbers, and 2017 after it. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. The only thing I can think is that maybe this walkie-talkie is specific to the UK, hence the GB label, but we shall see anyway as we delve further into it. So let's get the box opened up and see what we've got here. So we're opening up and we've got the instruction manual. Very good. Not exactly the thickest manual I've ever seen. It just seems like a fold out sheet really. A bit basic on the instructions there. PTT loudspeaker, key, state indicator lamp, power knob, okay. Microphone speaker port, right. Function, frequency range, 400 to 470 megahertz, up to 16 channels. Chinese English language, 50 groups, CSS tones, okay. Timeout timer, wide narrowband, battery saving, busy channel, low battery, programmable by PC. Fair enough, okay, all good. Pretty much what it said on the box. Now, what else have we got? Squelch level, battery saving, busy channel, voice broadcast. You can set that through PC software, which we'll talk about a bit later. Chinese English Vox function, Q2, DQ2. Okay, so you can set tones on this, privacy tones basically. So the technical specifications, let's see what we got here. Frequency range 400 470, operation 3.7 volts, RF power. Now this is interesting. It states the RF power is 2 watts. Now that is over the limit for a UK walkie-talkie. UK walkie-talkie can only have a maximum output power of half a watt. So this is making me think that this isn't actually a walkie-talkie, but rather a UHF 70 centimeter band ham radio. But, we shall see. That's the instructions. Put them to the side. What have we got in the box? Well, we've got a USB-C charging cable with 2 ends on it, because obviously these being walkie-talkies, they come as a pair in the box. We get 2 of them in the box. One end is USB standard A type socket. The other end is a double-ended USB-C. There's 2 ends on it, so you plug that in to your charger and charge up the 2 handsets at the one time. So I'll set that to the side. We have got a rather nifty and bright orange lanyard for attaching to the radio. I presume you can attach that around your neck. Got 2 of those. Very bright. Set them to the side, and then what have we got in here? Oh, we've actually got an earpiece. I didn't expect to get that with that because it wasn't actually listed as being part of the set on the box, but we've got the ubiquitous speaker earpiece microphone. So that's a nice little touch. I got those along with the walkie-talkies, 2 of them, 1 for each set. So that's good. Set them aside. Then we get down to the nitty-gritty. These are the actual little radios. The Baofeng BF T20. So let's have a look at the packaging. And it's come inside of a little holder, a little belt clip. Rather nifty looking little belt clip holder. So that's a nice touch. And then inside the plastic bag we have the actual radio itself. The Baofeng BF T20. So, nice little radio. It is as light as a feather. In fact, I'd say it's probably even lighter than the Baofeng 888S, which is what a radio that I did a review on there previously. Very light indeed. On the top we have the on-off and volume knob. Fixed antenna, which is good. Gives us some hope that this actually might be a walkie-talkie as opposed to a ham radio, but the jury's out on that. On the side we have a push-to-talk button. 2 buttons, one with a plus, one with a minus, so presumably those are your up and down channel change buttons. On the other side we've got, and this is good, under the flap we have a standard Kenwood type port, so you can connect this radio to the computer and program it via a Baofeng connecting cable. So that's good to see, standard connector cable. Of course you can also attach your earpiece to that as well. And under here we have our little USB-C type charging port, so it's good to see that as well. I like USB-C charging, it's nice. It looks like this little radio is also capable of being charged up via cradle charger, because on the bottom we can see they have electrical contacts on either side for a cradle charger option as well. It doesn't come with a cradle charger, just with the USB-C charging cable. Didn't come with any adapter that I can see, so obviously you'll need to have one of those yourself. It's in the box, that's it basically. So I can set that to the side. Put our bits and pieces in there that we don't actually need for now. So set that off to one side here. Have a closer look at the radio. Now let's open the back and see if we can get into the battery. It looks just like there's a little slot on the top, a little keyed slot on the top there. It looks like you would just pry that open, preferably without breaking a thumbnail. But there we go. Yes, and there we are. Back just pries off. It's just plastic, fairly lightweight plastic. It pries off to reveal the battery, which is a lithium-ion battery pack, model T20C, 5.5 watt-hours. The voltage is 3.7 volts, and the capacity is 1500 milliamp hours. So, pretty standard little type battery, very commonly available, very easy to get. And the way it fits into the radio is it just pushes in up against the 3 pins on the bottom, so that's nice, because I have seen some radios of these type that actually attach via a wire, which is not so good, but this one just pops straight in without the need to have any wires on it. So we can have a look at the identifying label in the back there, and we can see that it is, according to the label, the model is the T20 two-way radio, voltage DC3 7 volts, and it's got an FCC ID on it there. I don't know if anyone wants to look that up, but it does have an FCC identification number on it there. Whether that's genuine or not, I can't say. But we'll put the battery back in. Hopefully there's some charge in it. Put the back on. Just clips on and snaps back into place. Turn the radio on, see what happens.
Power on. 2.
So we've powered on, and it seems we're on channel 2. And we'll try out the second handset here. In the box. They do come in various colours. These I bought the black ones because generally speaking black doesn't stick out. You can buy them in white or red. colours, but I just prefer the black. It's not so garish, you know, but each to their own, of course, just to let you know that they do come in a variety of colours. So this is the second handset here. We'll turn it on.
Power on. 2.
So it's on channel 2 as well. So we'll do a quick test here. We'll just see if it, one radio receives the other. One, two, 1, 2, testing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, testing the Baofeng T20 on hopefully PMR 446 channel 2. Over. Yeah, so that is definitely receiving okay on what we hope is PMR 446 channel 2. When you receive, the LED lights up green on the top, and when you transmit, the LED lights up red. Red for transmit, green for receive. So pretty standard there. So let's have a closer look at these little radios, and by that I mean that we'll have a look at them in the software, because you can't actually tell what frequencies these little radios are broadcasting on. They don't have a screen, obviously, and the only real way you can tell which channel they're broadcasting on is to plug them into the computer and fire up the software for them. Now, speaking on the subject of software, we have a bit of a problem with that. The Baofeng T20, you can get CPS software for it. I actually found it after a bit of hunting about on the internet and got CPS software for it, Baofeng's own software. But they should be able to be programmable with chirp, these little radios, and indeed they are. But the interesting thing is that if you look for the radio name Baofeng T20 in chirp, you won't find it, because this little radio is actually sold under 2 different names, and the Baofeng name seems to be the less popular one. The more popular name for this little radio is actually the WLN KDC1, and it is the exact same identical radio, is sold under a different name. Under the skin, they're exactly the same. So if you want to program this radio in chirp, don't try looking for Baofeng T20 in chirp software, because you won't find it. But what you will find is the radio listed under its other name, WLN KDC1, and that's what we're going to do now. We're going to plug in the cable and connect it to the software and see what frequencies this bad boy has actually got stored inside of it. Now, the good thing, as I've already mentioned, is that this little radio can be programmed via a standard Baofeng USB to Kenwood type cable. So CH340, this particular cable, the chip in it is, and a Kenwood 2-pin connector on the end, so pretty standard Baofeng cable there. So we'll get it plugged into the side here, and the Kenwood connection on the side. Go straight in, no problem. Bring our laptop forward a bit here, and we shall plug in our USB cable to the other end. Let's see, I'll bring it around this side because I've got a mouse plugged in there. So there we are. So the first thing you got to do when you plug in these little radios is to check which COM port the radio is installed on in Windows. So we'll go into Windows here, bring the camera around a bit, and we'll go into the device manager on the PC, and have a look and see which COM port this radio is actually on. There we are, we're in Device Manager. So we can scroll down to where it says ports, and if we look here we'll see USB serial CH340, and it is on COM port 4. I'll just bring that in a bit closer so that we can see that. There we are, USB serial CH340, which is the type of the cable, the chip in the cable, and it is on COM port 4. So now you know that this little radio is installed on COM port 4. So we can come out of there and go back into the software. In this case I'm using Chirp Next. It doesn't matter really which version of Chirp you use, it'll work on either Chirp Next or Chirp Legacy. I'm just using the Chirp Next, which is the newest version of Chirp. So we'll go into Chirp, and as I said, you won't find this radio listed under Baofeng's. So download from radio. If we go in and we look under Baofeng radios, we'll have a look here. Baofeng, we can check the list of Baofeng compatible radios, and as we can see, although there is a Baofeng BF T1 and a BF T8, there is no BF T20 currently supported in Chirp. So what we have to do then is, instead of picking Baofeng as the radio manufacturer, we pick WLN as I mentioned. So I have to scroll down the list, and there is WLN. Select that, and as we can see here, I've already picked the KDC1, which is this radio's other name. WLN KDC1. So there we have it. It's actually the only one on the list, so that's fortunate. And we're on COM port 4. USB serial CH340 COM port 4. So we'll select that as our COM port. So we get COM port 4, WLN is the radio, and the model KDC1. So now we'll have a read and see what's on the radio. Okay. Radio identification field. Well, that's interesting. So it's not working under WLN, and yet that's what this little radio is known as. So we got a problem, folks. Houston, we have a problem. Let's see if it'll work under another Baofeng radio. What shall we try? Shall we try the 888? Maybe the T1 would be a better option. Try a T1. Okay. See if it reads that. Radio identification field. So no, definitely doesn't work under the T1. The T8, perhaps we'll try it. Okay. Radio identification field. Nope, no good there. What about the old 888? Video returned unknown identification string. So anyway, I'm going to pause the video at this point because obviously we're having difficulty reading from the Chirp software here. Despite the radio being named in Chirp, it's not reading from it. So we'll try, instead of trying Chirp Next, we'll try Chirp Legacy, the older version of Chirp, and see if we have any success in there. So we'll download from radio, we'll try COM4, we'll try WLN, we'll try KDC1. Do we have any success in Chirp Legacy? No, we don't. So I'm afraid, folks, that we have a failure with Chirp. you could probably, if you scroll through different models of Baofeng radio and chirp, you might hit on one that would eventually get you working software. But as we can see at the minute, we're not having any success with chirp. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire up the Baofeng CPS software, which I downloaded from the internet, for the WLN KDC1. So we'll open that up. And here we have the software for the WLN KDC1. You can see that up at the top there, in the top left hand corner. It says it lists this radio as a KDC1. So if you're looking for that software on the internet, look for WLN and the model number of the radio is KDC1. So we know that we're on COM port 4, so we'll select it from the list of ports in the CPS software. And now we'll try reading from the radio. Read data from interphone. Interphone, that's an interesting name. So here we go. Read. And this time, success. You can actually see what channels are programmed into this radio. And there, my friends, if we look, what we actually have here looks suspiciously like, and obviously you can correct me if I'm wrong, but these look like 462 frequencies, which are in fact American FRS, Family Radio Service frequencies, for use in the United States, and which we are not supposed to broadcast on here in the UK. So I was just broadcasting on an illegal frequency there. Apologies for that. And we have various CTCSS tones set here. The power is set to high, scan add, and it has wide band channel spacing. So that's interesting. So this radio, despite being sold for the UK market, has come pre-programmed with the American FRS Family Radio Service frequencies. And we have a choice of two power outputs. Now, I presume the high power is 2 watts. I'm hoping that low power is half a watt, but I have a feeling it may not be. It may be a watt. I don't have a means of testing this radio power output. I don't have the correct equipment to test it, so I really don't know what power it's outputting. It's supposed to output 2 watts on full power, so what exactly it's outputting on low power, I really don't know. But anyway, as we can see with the CPS software here, we've had a look inside, and the radio comes pre-programmed with 16 what I think are FRS. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. No, they're not. Some of them are 462. Others are going up to 400 megahertz, 460, 469. Good grief. We're all over the place with frequencies here. I don't know what's going on there. So they're not even all FRS frequencies, if that's what they even were in the first place. It seems that they're just random test frequencies from the factory. So no rhyme or reason to the pre-programmed frequencies that come on this radio, so which is why it's so important that whenever you buy one of these little radios, that you don't use them straight out of the box on the pre-programmed frequencies, that you actually take the time to program them up with the proper frequencies that you should be using for your country. In my case, and if this radio's power output is 2 watts, and if I want to use it on high power, then the only frequencies that I can program into this radio would be 70 centimeter ham band frequencies, for which you need a license to transmit in the UK. I could program it up with PMR 446 license-free frequencies, but again, there's a question mark over the power output of this little radio. What does it output on low power? I really don't know the answer to that. It could be half a watt. It could be a watt. Either way, I can't take a chance on that. I'll have to assume that it's more than half a watt. So I wouldn't be correct in programming this radio with the PMR 446 frequencies for the UK, because I don't know the power output of the radio. All it says in the handbook is it's 2 watts, and that's on high power. So what it's outputting on low power, I really don't know. So there you are, folks, there you have it. A little ham radio. I'll have to call it a ham radio, because honestly, from what I've seen of it here, it doesn't appear to be what we would call a walkie-talkie for the UK. I'm going to have to program it up with the correct frequencies, because I can't continue to use it on the pre-programmed frequencies that are in there. They just seem to be a bunch of random test frequencies, not suitable for use in the UK. But other than that, a very nice little radio, very compact, ultra lightweight. Comes with a very commonly available little battery, so it'd be quite possible for you to buy a spare battery for this, you know, keep it charged up. You can buy, as I say, a cradle charger for this radio. I've actually ordered one from AliExpress. I'm waiting on it coming. So just as an alternative, you can order a cradle charger for it instead of charging it via USB-C all the time. So yes, on one hand, it's an impressive, lightweight, tiny, really pocketable little radio. Operates on UHF only. It's not dual band. It doesn't operate on VHF. It's just UHF frequencies, which can be programmed via software. And as we've seen, it seems that only the CPS software is working for this radio. Chirp was a failure, I'm afraid. It was a dismal failure. Even though the radio is listed in Chirp, it quite clearly couldn't read from the radio. As I say, it's known under 2 different names. This one is the Baofeng T20, but it's also known as the WLN KDC1. If you look that up on the internet, you'll see the radio is exactly the same. There are some videos on it on YouTube as well. They seem to be more popular. Any tests I've seen seem to relate to that model of the radio rather than the Baofeng version. But I have the Baofeng version here, and it's exactly the same. So yeah, good little radio. Disappointed really that it's not a walkie-talkie as such. I'm pretty sure that it's not outputting half a watt on low power. Maybe it is, maybe it's close to it, because it only outputs 2 watts maximum on high power. And generally speaking, those power outputs on Baofeng radios are a bit optimistic, so it's probably not even outputting 2 watts on maximum power, probably less. But it does have an alternative low power setting, but what that is actually outputting, I've no means of testing. Some radios, you know, that have a removable antenna, you can put a dummy load in there and hook them up to a machine to measure the power output, but because obviously this is a fixed antenna, and I don't even have that equipment, we have no means of identifying what it's outputting on low power. So to play safe, as I say, with this radio, I would program it up with the UK 70 centimeter band ham radio frequencies, and leave it at that. So there you are, Baofeng BF T20 UHF, and I'm going to say it's a ham radio. I'm not going to say it's a walkie-talkie. If you buy these and expect it to be a walkie-talkie, whatever you do, do not use it on the frequencies the radio comes pre-programmed with. They're just a bunch of random frequencies from the factory. You've got to get the CPS software downloaded for the WLN KDC1 radio. Don't try looking for the BF T20, you won't find it. Look for WLN KDC1 CPS software and you'll find it. Download that onto your computer, reprogram it with the frequencies which are appropriate for your country. And as I say, in my country, those are the 70 centimeter ham band frequencies. So there we are, the Baofeng BF T20 or WLN KDC1, whichever you want to call it. They're both exactly the same radio. Nice little radio, ultra lightweight, pocketable, USB-C charging, standard Kenwood connector on the side of it, push to talk, up down channel selection buttons, very simple operation, a very common standard of battery for it, which is nice to see. It doesn't connect by a cable or anything in the back, it just simply slots in there. So if you want to buy a spare battery and keep that charged up, it'd be a good idea. Lightweight plastic, but seems reasonably sturdy as well. So if you want a pocketable little 70 centimeter ham band radio for the UK, yeah, I think it's a pretty nice little piece of kit. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed that unboxing and review of the Baofeng BF T20, and we'll catch you again on the next one. Bye for now.